Hey you guys, it's me Laura. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3 kids ages 12, 10, and 5, and today I'm going to share with you what I do to help with meal planning and menu planning and to make that whole process a little bit easier for my life. So I am someone who gets very overwhelmed with too many choices that I have to make all the time. I don't do well with that. I like to have I have so many ideas, lots of creativity, and I want to have freedom to express that, but I don't want to have to make decisions all the time. It's very hard for me. So a long time ago, several years ago, probably, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, maybe even, I started this monthly menu. This is a menu that will last me until we get bored of it, and then I change it. I do not change it otherwise. I used to do a new one every season to kind of keep things up with whatever season we were eating on, but I don't need to change it that often. So once I just updated this, and it was because we were all getting bored of the meals. There were a lot of meals on here that I would make and nobody would eat, and so I said, nope, we're not doing that. And it was getting really stressful for me every week to try and figure out new meals and new everything. So I said, okay, it's time to update our menu. And so that's what I did. So this menu has, my husband is usually up before anybody else. So he does breakfast, and we have the same breakfast twice in a row because he'll make enough for 2 breakfasts and then we'll eat it for 2 days. And then he'll do the next one. And so he has that on here. And then every day also has one lunch or supper option. And usually right now, this changes for different seasons. Sometimes we'll make the meal at lunch and have it for leftovers for supper. At our current life season, we make it for supper and then eat it for lunch the next day. And so there are some themes here that help me plan. So like this, Sundays are our kind of meals that just don't fit into any category, that are like whole meals. Then we have like Tex-Mex on Monday. Tuesday is pasta. Wednesday is soup. Thursday is some kind of sandwiches. And then Friday, we have something that is usually really easy to make because oftentimes we're doing things on Friday, things are crazy, so it's just a super simple meal. And then we have leftovers always on Saturday. We need to clean out the fridge, and then we start back over again. So each of these meals is different, but they kind of are categorized, which helped me to plan. And then we also have down here listed emergency meals, or like if things are crazy or we're not feeling well or we need to throw a meal together, we always have the things for these meals on hand. We have grilled cheese and tomato soup with fresh vegetables, stir fry, which just comes from the freezer and we pop it on the stove and boom, we're good to go. Frozen pizzas, egg sandwiches, charcuterie snacks, or baked beans with potatoes. These are things that we can put together really quickly in a pinch. We don't have to think about it in a pinch because we have it listed and we know that we have all the things for those in our pantry ready to go. So that is really helpful. And I also, with this, have created each week, and there's the front and the back, each week has a list of all of the ingredients that we need for that week for groceries. So the stuff down here, all of this is general staples. So this is stuff that we just need to always have on hand. And so usually my husband does the grocery shopping, occasionally I'll do it. So he just will, before he goes, check and make sure we have all the pantry supplies. These are things that we always have, like sun butter. Instead of peanut butter, we don't use peanut butter, we use sun butter. But sun butter, nutritional yeast, bread, oats, whole wheat flour, popcorn, applesauce, tortillas. Those are things that we eat all the time that we always need to have. And if we have those, and then plus these things for each week, we know that we're going to have what we need to make all the meals for that week. So for example, week 1, we need to have yogurt because that is our snack for the week. So we need to have yogurt for the kids, vegan yogurt for me in the fridge. That's not something we get all the time. So that week we need to make sure we have it. We also are having quesadillas. So we might often have these onion, mushroom, pepper for sauteing to put in the quesadillas. We normally have those things on hand, but not always. So I put that in the list so that we can make sure that we do have those. And we're going to need a salad kit for this week. We need lots of fresh basil for pesto. Usually we get that from our garden, but we need to check if it's not in our garden, we need to get that. Fresh garlic. We don't always have fresh garlic. Sometimes we only have like canned garlic, but fresh garlic we have to make pesto. So that's on the list. Grapes, we always have fruit. We don't always have specific fruit, but this time we specifically need grapes. Fresh green beans. Again, we always have fresh veggies, but we need to make sure that we have green beans this week. We need broccoli. For this particular week, we need a block of cheese so that we can slice it and have that sliced cheese on our sandwiches. We almost always have shredded cheese, but we need to make sure that we have that sliced cheese, or well, the block that we can slice. And strawberries, again, we always have fruit. We need to make sure we have strawberries. So that is what I will do week to week so that we know if we're on week 1, we need this, and make sure that our staples are stocked and we're good to go for the week. That way we don't have to think about what do we need on our grocery list. We don't have to think about what are we going to eat this week. Now, of course, we can always change things around and move things around. This is not like we're not stuck deadlocked in this, but this just makes menu planning and meal planning so much easier. And just so that you know some of the variety, like we do have pasta day every week, but every week it's different. So one day we'll have pasta with pesto and tofu and sauteed veggies. The next week we have tomato noodle soup, which is kind of like a homemade SpaghettiOs. It's a healthier kind of deal. And so that's what we'll have that week. And then the next week we will have just regular pasta with red sauce. And then the next week we're going to have pasta with oil and salt and nutritional yeast and kind of this more garlicky pasta. Let's see. So for soups, we'll have lentil soup one week, split pea soup another week, Swiss chard soup another week, and potato soup another week. So they kind of change. The same with the sandwiches. We'll have egg sandwiches one week. We'll have like sun butter sandwiches, like peanut butter and jelly kind of sandwiches. We'll have tofu patty sandwiches, and we'll have, we make this spread with chickpeas and veganese, and it's really yummy. It's like a, I don't know what to call it, but it's like a spread that my kids really like. So we'll have those. So we change it up and we change it out so it doesn't get too boring. And then in a few months, you know, sometimes it takes 3 months, sometimes it takes 6 months. When we start getting bored of these things or need new things, we can. We also do have scheduled in here one day a month, because that's about right for me. That's optional to try something new, and that's on our sandwich day. So if we're here on a Friday and it's not a quick day and I want to try a new recipe to see if we can incorporate that into the menu at some point, that is the day to do it. And it's also great because if the kids hate it, the sandwich stuff is there, ready to go for a backup. We're not stuck without food. So that is what I do to make menu planning easier in our home. Again, it mostly just takes the stress off of me trying to think of what we're going to have and what we're going to do and then figure out the grocery list. And I mean, you guys know sometimes that can just be really stressful, especially when there's so much else going on. And I just want to have good meals for my kids. I don't want to spend loads and loads of time trying to figure out what those meals are going to be. So this is something that helps. I thought it might be helpful for you as well. I would love to know how you do your meal planning, what you do to come up with your ideas, what kinds of do you have picky eaters like I do that make it a little tricky, or are your kids pretty much eat whatever? I would love to hear about it in the comments below, and I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I'll talk to you later. Bye.